there were demonstrations against the zero-COVID policy. Because by then it was clear that the zero-COVID policy could not work. The Omicron version was simply not stoppable in comparison to the earlier variants of this COVID-19 virus, which China were able to contain when Western countries were not containing them so effectively. But by that point, with the demonstrations, Xi Jinping was still full steam ahead with zero COVID, because he made it very clear at the 20-party Congress. Zero COVID was the right policy. Zero COVID was what made China more successful than the West. What then happened amongst those demonstrations were a small number of people who came out to demonstrate with blank sheets of paper.
Yes.
They were not demanding a reversal of zero COVID. They were demanding with a blank sheet of paper. The invisible message, if you will, was blatantly clear and obvious to Xi Jinping. They were protesting against the party's leadership, which means that his leadership, for the first time in Xi Jinping's rule, he saw the potential emergence of a popular challenge to his authority and his policy direction. Here, let me bounce back all the way to late 2012, just after Xi Jinping became leader. In his first major public policy address, he reminded everybody that we must learn the lessons that the heroic Communist Party of the Soviet Union failed to learn, which was that when a traitor like Gorbachev emerged within our ranks, comrades in the CPSU were not men enough to stand up against that. And the CPSU collapsed, and that is history. This will not happen under my watch. 2022, 10 years on, he did exactly what he promised. He saw the first sign of a challenge, and he had to clamp them down immediately, but he did more. He also removed the cause for that challenge, which is why he reversed the zero COVID policy. Now, if he were being forced to reverse it and he had time to prepare for it, the Communist Party establishment would have worked out some arrangements to ease the zero COVID restrictions. It would not have been lifted overnight. The only person who could have lifted overnight was Xi Jinping. So it's clear to me that it was Xi Jinping trying to make sure that the security of his leadership could no longer be challenged again, that he did whatever was needed. If it means reversing a flagship policy he had committed to only a few weeks ago, so be it. That's a lesson we need to learn in terms of how Xi Jinping runs the Communist Party and China.
So in essence, you're suggesting that in fact it tightened his control on Chinese society in general.
Well, it certainly tightened his control. It doesn't make the general population in China more supportive of Xi Jinping. Because if we are looking at a completely hypothetical situation, if China were to have a genuine, open and fair election before the zero COVID policy, I think there's very little doubt that Xi Jinping would have won with a landslide.
Really?
Enormous landslide. After November, December 2022, if China were to have an open and fair elections, I don't know what the result would be. I think that will be a genuine open question as to whether Xi Jinping could win a fair and open elections after that. And that's the magnitude of changes that this successful enhancement of his control is also delivering.